have something
Not
else going
physically.
on. And I sincerely, truly want you to get the help that you deserve.
Stop. I hate this. I hate this so much. Why? Every single time. Every time they do this shit, they do this shtick where they're like, oh, I care for you. This is coming from a place of concern from me to you. I'm helping you. It's like, shut the f up. No, you're not. All right, I haven't done a video intro in like a long time because I've been on hiatus, something. So I'm not gonna be that good at it right now, but that being said, let's just jump right into this video. This is something that somebody sent in the Discord server for video recommendations. The guy's got 1.68k subscribers. You guys know my policy, don't go after anybody, especially people who are smaller, but nobody really, you know, just don't do it. It's not good. But this got a lot of views, more than most of my videos get. So I feel like it's worthy of going over. It's called Trans Guy Reacts to Brain Rot Woke TikToks. This is a very popular form of entertainment these days. You know, just go over TikToks and say, oh, well, that's woke, but that's woke. Yeah, that's cringe. And all the liberals are doing that one, right? Let's just see what's going on.
Perfect world, we'd hold off assigning kids a gender until they're old enough to tell us themselves.
But you can never change your biological
I agree with that statement, by the way.
sex. That's
okay, but that's not what that person said. That person said a gender, not sex.
fallacy.
Some of you look like your
No, that's not a fallacy. I see. I'm already pissed. I shouldn't have done this.
pronouns are hurt me daddy.
Very quiet. Probably. Yeah, no, that's true. She's
Nice
right.
guy. Okay. He's in there somewhere, hiding.
Imagine being that self-hating. I'm going to hold off on the self-hating comments, but
Hide from the idiot.
not going to say you're wrong.
Hello, Internet. Welcome
Hello.
to my YouTube
I'm
channel.
Internet.
If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. If you're not new, thank you for
Oh, yeah, hold on. I'm going to put on my headphones, too.
coming back and enjoy.
No, it's not working. Why isn't it working? Son of a... We're having a great first segment back.
Enjoying more content. I really appreciate it. With all that being said, I thought I'd go with a fan favorite for today's video.
Of course.
And by that, I mean a TikTok reaction video. Yes,
Also,
it
bisexual lighting. Nice.
chips away at my soul,
I kind of
but you guys seem to really like it. Why would I not give the people what they want? That being said, let's just jump right into it.
Fair enough.
This pink circle represents everyone in the world who was born with the body parts that I was born with. You know, like one of these. And this blue circle represents everyone in the world who identifies as a man. Now, when you make a Venn diagram from these circles, they overlap, but not entirely. This is because the parts you're born with don't actually determine your gender. They only suggest what your gender is most likely going to be. It works a lot like...
And I want to delve into that a little bit more as well, because this confuses a lot of people because people still interchange gender with sex. And so I just want to say they're completely separate concepts. And if you understand gender as a human constructed concept on the basis of biological sex, it makes more sense. So it correlates to biological sex out of an artificial construct, right? Like out of something that we did, you know, we applied that to biological sex, right? So it would follow, since we applied that, most people are going to conform to that. You know what I mean? But sometimes you're wrong. You know, sometimes the doctor is wrong, as they say. Now, is that the best way to put it to people? I don't personally think so. I just think that, you know, telling people that your understanding of gender can change as you grow up is better. But that's just me.
Like attraction between men and women. Most men are
Sorry,
attracted
keeps
to
slipping
women.
down.
Most men. But some men are attracted to other men. With the same kind of thinking,
How's the
people
audio,
who
by
were
the way? Let
born
me know
with
if
the
it's
body
good.
parts that I was born with are usually men. They're most likely going to be men, but not always. Sometimes they're women. The problem here is that when babies are born, we assign them a gender based on their body parts, and that's really just an educated guess. In a perfect world, we'd...
Why lighting gives such a calming atmosphere to a room? I agree. It's just that when I'm, especially over the summer, when I'm streaming during the day and I have the wind, like the back door right here, it's hard to get that lighting.
Hold off assigning kids a gender until they're old enough to tell us themselves. That way, no one has to pretend to be someone they're not.
Ideally, yes, that would be...
First and foremost, bestie.
There's nothing wrong with having people be non-binary until a certain age.
I recommend chewing with your mouth closed, as that's...
Okay, you don't gotta be like, I don't know, it's just smarmy.
The ladylike thing to do.
Oh, okay. This guy. Never mind.
Anywho, jumping into what he actually said, it's pure nonsense. He's literally sitting here telling you, first of all, what
How's it
you already
nonsense?
know. The majority of men are straight and only a few of them are gay. The majority of men identify with that and call themselves men.
Yes.
There are some who are transsexual women who have gender dysphoria and actually medically, physically, in any way, shape, or form possible transition, right? And
Yes.
then you have guys like Lily here who very obviously do not have dysphoria and
But she's not a guy, dude. Like, you're a guy, she's not. Why do you do this to not just her, but yourself? Like, it's so confusing to me, because you're just playing yourself. Like, are you
around
not a guy? Are you a
talking
chick?
to kids on the internet about how he's had his cake pops removed, but still waiting for, oh gosh, what did he call it? Like, I can't even remember the crazy.
Does she talk to children about stuff? About like genital removal? Is that a thing that she does? Because if it is, then that's bad. I don't like that. But like, I don't think she does that.
Weirdo stuff this guy is referring to his genitalia as, but it's very obviously like specifically targeted at kids the way he's talking. Another point that this dude made was, well,
Wait. But okay, if you're going to teach kids, right, that boys have a penis and girls have a vagina, which is something that we do teach kids, make no mistake. I think it's fine also to teach them that not all boys are like you can be a boy without being biologically male. I think it's fine to teach them that. I think that's fine. You don't have to talk about the genital removal. You don't have to talk about like the surgical part of that. All you have to do is say, yeah, you can identify as the gender that you were not assigned at birth. Okay? I hate trans infighting. It's not really trans infighting, it's just grifters. Her TikToks would get taken down immediately if she used the real words. Yeah, like actually. That's a good point too. Like, this is not necessarily aimed at kids because you can't use the real words.
some are men, and some of those men are actually women. No, they're not. They're all men. And those who are transsexual.
Then you're just calling yourself a woman. I just don't understand this. Like, you're calling yourself a woman. You're not a woman, dude. You're a dude, okay? Stop debasing yourself.
Transsexuals actually know that they're biologically men, and that there's nothing they can do to change the fact that they are biologically male. Now they can present
That's not even true either. You can take hormones and you can get surgery, okay? If you need it. Some people don't even want the surgery, by the way.
femininely and present as a woman and be called a woman in public. Absolutely. But you can never change your biological sex. That's a fallacy.
Which, by the way, I don't even think that, like, she said anything about that, did she? We're at 342. Let's take a look. We'll go over what she said one more time.
Represents everyone in the world who
I don't think she said
identifies
anything
as
about
a
biological
man.
sex.
Now, when you make a Venn diagram from these
Or
circles,
changing
they
it, I mean.
overlap, but not entirely. This is because the parts you're born with don't actually determine your gender. They only suggest what your gender is most likely going to be. It works a lot like attraction between men and women. Most men are attracted to women, most men, but some men are attracted to other men. With the same kind of thinking, people who are born with the body parts that I was born with are usually men. They're most likely going to be men, but not always. Sometimes they're women. The problem here is that when babies are born, we assign them a gender based on their body parts, and that's really just an educated guess. In a perfect world, we'd hold off assigning kids a gender until they're old enough to tell us themselves. That way, no one has to pretend to be someone they're not.
She didn't say anything about like changing your biological sex. That's just something that this guy inserted.
But you can never change your biological sex. That's a fallacy. So for this guy
Which
to get
that's
up
not
on
true,
the
by the way. You
internet and
can.
just blatantly say,
Hell, I did. Okay, most of my audience will know that I was on testosterone replacement therapy, TRT. All right. Now, did I change going from female to male? No, I'm not a trans male, but I did change elements of it. Like if you go back and look at my oldest videos, right? Not the gamer videos. Don't touch those, please. Please stay away from those. But if you go back and watch my old political videos, the oldest ones, you can tell that my voice was higher, and that's the main difference really, is my voice was higher, but my hairline was probably better too, if I had to guess. But I just wasn't as, I didn't grow a beard as well, I'll tell you that, you know? So I increased my testosterone and thus changed my sex a little bit. You know, it's not that hard. She's shadowboxing a bunch of people online and otherwise who do say sex can change. Wait, she? Do you mean this guy? Let's not refer to him as she, her, even if he does not provide us that courtesy.
Yeah, men can be women. That's not how that works, babe. And responding
No, that's not what she
to
said.
another one of his points that he thought he
This
made
is all
here,
the same garbage all the time.
we should not let kids choose their gender. What? What part of that even makes sense? It's these weirdos on the internet who are so...
It makes perfect sense. If you could, you did that, by the way. You did that. Like, you transitioned from girl to boy. You chose your gender. And by the way, everybody chooses their gender. It's just that some people don't even sit down to think about it. Most people don't. You just choose every day to continue living as you have been. That's choosing your gender. You can choose a different gender any day you want.
desperate to push it on kids and everyone else and force everyone else to identify with them so that they don't have...
I want to clarify, by the way, that doesn't mean you can choose your gender preference, okay? You just because you prefer, like, just because you're choosing a different gender doesn't necessarily mean you prefer that gender. Like, I could choose to identify as a woman. That doesn't necessarily mean that I prefer identifying as a woman. Does that make sense? Like, I can choose to eat pizza one day even if I would prefer a hot dog. Does that make sense? Hopefully I'm making sense.
to feel like the odd one out and yet at the same time want to be a minority. These people just don't make sense. And responding to
they're the ones
one
who don't
final
make sense.
point here that he made, your gender
choosing
isn't
gender presentation.
assigned
Thank you.
to you at birth. It's what you are for your entire life, actually. It's your biological sex.
Why would you play yourself like that though, man? Like, you are a trans dude. Why? I just don't get it. I'm just confused, you know?
Biological gender. Same thing, by the way. There's a
No,
bunch of
they're
people
not.
who are going to get super mad
What's
at
a
me in the comments
biological
for
gender?
that. But none of you are transsexuals, so I don't care.
Okay, well, why should we care about your opinions then? Like, okay, so it's different if, like, a trans person, like, should I recruit a trans person to come and argue you? Because, like, that point never made sense to me either. It's like, well, just like a black person saying something racist against black people, and then they're like, well, you're white, so your opinion on this doesn't matter, right? Even though what I said is objectively correct against that black person. Like, you guys get my point? I feel like I'm doing my best here. I'm gonna pause for a second and check in with you guys. I know that, like, this is not my best react segment, but please bear with me. I'm doing my best. This dude thinks conservatives will accept him. Yeah, of course he does. He said you don't count as trans if you disagree with him. Oh, okay, I missed that part. Yeah, that's really weird, actually. What? So he's the arbiter of trans people. That's fun.
On to video 2.
Hey, stop. Hey, hold on. Hey!
So we're just openly fetishizing.
Wait, what did it say? When being trans stops being hot and seggy and starts being dysphoric and misgendering. What? So it's good when it stops being hot. Huh? Wait, hold on. I feel like I'm doing 4-dimensional calculus in my head. I don't know what that means. I'm glad I'm not alone. If gender's your biological sex, then by his standards, this trans guy isn't really a guy, which he still is, but I'm going based on his logic. That's what I'm saying. Like, we literally, here's the thing that I said that got some people a little bit upset, I think, but it's true. Like, we respect people like this more than they respect themselves. Okay. And I'm not saying that to make fun of them even. I'm just laying out the facts here. I respect his gender identity more than he himself respects his own gender identity. And that's pretty sad. You know, like, honestly, I feel bad for him. I feel a little bad for him. I think that what he's doing is shit, but it's coming from a place of apparently, like, not even accepting himself, which sucks, you know? Like, that's pitiable, man. It's very pitiable.
Hey!
I'm sorry your life sucks that
So
bad.
we're just openly fetishizing the idea of being a transsexual now, right? That's what you're telling me with that video.
Well, I don't even know what that video was about. It was cringe, sure, but I don't even know what it was about.
Romanticizing the idea of being the opposite sex, even though you didn't have dysphoria. And now that you've transitioned to something you're not, now suddenly you have dysphoria because, oh, shocker, you're actually a woman. Next.
It's called being cis.
This is your daily reminder.
Like if you're cis and you try to transition, then you're basically giving yourself dysphoria. Yes, I agree with that. He wants you to respect him, but not respect others, which is a bit hypocritical. Bro thinks he's a telepath. Yeah, I really don't know what that TikTok was about.
That if you're cishet, my pronouns are he, him. And if you're not cishet, my pronouns are he, they, or whatever you think would be like sexy on me.
Okay, listen. At this point, I'm not gonna be around you. Okay, I'm serious. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, you can't, like, you can do this if you want. You're not hurting anybody, but also it's just like a personality quirk that I don't vibe with. So I'm just not going to be your friend, and I'm not going to want to be around you because it's going to be annoying, you know? And I think it's fine to just leave it at that. You don't have to be a transphobic piece of shit to recognize that. You know what I mean? That's all. Just you be normal about your pronouns. Just have a set of pronouns that you go by, and that's it.
And no, I will not be taking criticism because it's my gender or lack thereof.
Some chasers will misgender you while fetishizing you at the same time. Let me go back and listen to it one more time.
This is your daily reminder that if you're cishet, my pronouns are he, him. And if you're not cishet, my pronouns are he, they, or whatever you think would be like sexy.
Okay, sorry. I misunderstood what was going on here. I jumped to conclusions. No, the one before this, what? Some chasers will misgender you while Oh, that's what this one was. Hold on. When being trans stops being hot and saggy and starts being dysphoric and misgendering. Oh, so this person is talking about chasers. Okay, that makes more sense. But like, this is tongue-in-cheek then, right? This is a completely, like, I misunderstood it too. No offense to this guy, but at least I admitted it. This guy doesn't even understand what's happening.
It's my gender or lack thereof.
Okay, I think the person's not like a political commentator or anything like that. Like, I don't care that much. The point he's making, by the way, is that, like, if you're cishet, then, okay, it's being as charitable as possible. If you were going to be as uncharitable as possible, you can go with what I first said, which is that this person is giving you different pronoun preferences based on your own identity as cis or trans, right? And being completely unironically serious about it, right? That's the worst interpretation of this. The best one that you can, which could be true, I'm not saying it's not, but the best interpretation of this, like the most charitable one, is that this person is recognizing that a cis person is way more likely to, just say they, right? Instead of he, him, because it makes them uncomfortable that, like, oh, you were born female, but you identify as male now, and I just split the middle. I'll just split the middle, even though you identify as masculine, I'll just split the middle. Like, that's the best interpretation that I can think of. Which I can understand that. I don't really give a shit that much, so we'll see what this guy's problem is.
Whoa, buddy. I'm gonna need you to immediately slow your roll. Because the minute you opened your mouth, the minute I saw your face, I clocked you as a she, her.
Those are different things.
Actually, you refuse to get help.
Wait, what?
Remember the fact that pronouns are not a choice. Okay? Pronouns are just what you look like,
Yes,
what you
they
sound
are.
like, what everybody sees you as.
Okay, so when you go out in public and you see a 70-year-old grandma who has aged to the point where you can't really tell that it's a grandma at first glance, right? And you assume that it's a sir, all right? And then she says, well, actually, I'm a woman. What are you going to do? Okay? Are you going to correct yourself like a normal person and say, oh, I'm so sorry. My apologies, ma'am. Right? Or are you going to say, well, sniffs nose, wipes Cheeto dust off. Actually, I clocked you as a man, so therefore you are a man. You don't get to pick your pronouns, ma'am. Quote unquote. Like, no, nobody does that.
You can try to force people to call you he, they, it, whatever you think is sexy on yourself.
This is so abnormal.
All you want. But the reality is people see you as a woman because that's what you are. And you are making no effort whatsoever to change that.
But again, you're just playing yourself, man. It's ridiculous.
Which is how I know you are not a transsexual. Thank you, next.
Hold on, what was this one? Sorry, I just forget sometimes. I'm just so used to she. Okay, hot take on this one. If you look like this person, people are going to identify you as she, her, okay? There's no getting around that. Now, once you learn that this person's pronouns are not she, her, let's say that they're he, him, right? This is a he, him person. Or they, them. We'll say they, them, just to be neutral. Let's say their pronouns are they, them, right? Once you correct somebody, they might still make the mistake, okay? And unfortunately, in our current society, it's not your fault that they make that mistake, but they do, right? And as long as they're doing their best to correct that, you know, I personally think it'd be good to accommodate that and say, yeah, that's fine. I understand you're getting used to it, whatever. That's just me. Now, you don't have to do that. It's your right to just walk away and say, I don't have time for your bullshit. And just go hang out with a bunch of trans people instead who will more than likely respect your not only respect your pronouns, but be able to consistently use the correct ones, right? That's totally within your right. I just think that you're kind of limiting yourself if you do that. That's just my 2 cents. You know what I mean? It's just the world we live in. Like, if you look like this, you're going to get clocked as she, her, unfortunately.
It's so honestly like sad and ironic at the same time that these young girls don't
for timeout.
see what's wrong with this. You're not being misgendered because you look like a she. People can't misgender.
But you get to pick your pronouns. I could decide right now that I want my pronouns to be they, them. And from that point on, anybody who calls me he, him is misgendering me. Okay? Now, I don't personally give a shit what pronouns people use for me. I never cared. All right? If you want to use, I'll take a real instance of what happened to Katie when she was at work, okay? Katie is non-binary. She goes by she, her, and they, them. And somebody at work decided that they were going to, it was not a coworker, it was a kid. She's a teacher. A kid decided that he was going to misgender her, not out of like a transphobic place, just to be a little douchebag. And so they called her sir. Right? I think, sir, right? Yes, sir, right? And then Katie just kind of looks at them and shrugs, like she did not care at all. Some people just don't care that much, you know? Where's I going with this? I forget. Is bro fully unaware that he just looks like a butch lesbian? Listen, I'm a cis scum, okay? I'm gonna let Queen Laura speak to that. No comment.
Gender you if that's what you look like, sweetie. You refuse to transition or change in any way because you know that's what you are, yet you still demand the respect, which we all know is really just
everyone demands respect
and control for you. Like, I'm really not.
Once again, I go back to the 70-year-old grandma that you think was a sir, okay? I've done that, okay? I'm sure many people in my audience have done that. I'm sure that he might have done that at some point, mistaken somebody who is cis as the opposite gender that they actually identify with. It happens. Shit happens, okay? That doesn't make you a bad person. Just correct yourself. It's really not that hard. It's not that hard. He looks like he just got out of softball practice. He kind of does. He kind of do, though. Like, this drip is crazy. This baseball fucking drip.
Okay with this anymore, and I'm going to stop being so nice about it, to be completely honest with you. This particular person looks underage, and I am not about attacking children. As a matter of fact, I'm not about attacking anybody, but I am going to call things like
you have. Okay, but you did, dude. But you did. And I'm attacking you in many ways, just so you know. I'm not above attacking people, but you did attack people, all right? So you can say that you're not about attacking anybody, but you did. And for the record, I am about attacking people who are being transphobic pieces of shit, okay? Just saying.
Trans, you have something else going on, and I sincerely, truly want you to get the help that you deserve.
Stop. I hate this. I hate this so much. Why? Every single time. Every time they do this shit. They do this shtick where they're like, oh, I care for you. This is coming from a place of concern from me to you. I'm helping you. It's like, shut the f up. No, you're not. No, you're not. You are helping yourself in the algorithm. Look at the views that this has compared to your subscriber count. You knew exactly what you were doing, making this shit, okay, pumping this dog shit out and throwing it up onto the internet. You knew what you were doing. Okay? So no, you don't give a shit about them. You don't. So stop pretending you do. And I frankly don't give that much of a shit about you, except for the fact that you're being a transphobic piece of shit on YouTube. And a grifter. Okay? I really don't give that much of a shit about you. I don't, and I'm not going to pretend to. I don't need you to get help. I need you to take down your content. You suck ass.
You deserve to live a happy, fulfilled life.
Just be off the internet.
To be
Go.
Something you're not.
Leave.
It's not going to give you
Reconsider
that.
Your life.
As a matter of fact, it's going to hurt you a lot more in the long run. So please get off of social media for a little bit. Distance yourself from the people who are telling you that you are 100% trans and encouraging you to just live this way. Distance yourself from those people. Those people aren't your friends. They're
I'm sure so much encouragement is coming into these people's lives, right? To live as a trans person. I'm sure that happens. It's certainly not the opposite. Something that you wouldn't know anything about, right? Because you're not trans, right? Oh, wait, you are trans. You know all of this. You know this. You know this. Why are you acting like you don't?
lying to you. They're blatantly lying to you. That's not a real friend. A friend is someone
Who
who's
the f-
brutally
would wanna
honest
be his
with you
friend?
no matter what because they love you.
Here's the kicker. Right-wingers don't want to be your friend because you're trans. Left-wingers don't want to be your friends because you're transphobic. Who the f wants to be your friend? Huh? Real question. Where are your friends at? Like, let's be real here.
That's what I'm doing. I love you, so I'm going to tell you that you need a different kind of help.
No, you don't love. Okay, yeah, f you. Someone mentioned about not being a boy or a girl, but being a failed version of both, and that statement consumes my waking days. Well, that just means that you're neither, right? That just means you're neither. It just means you're non-binary. That's fine. You didn't fail at being a boy or a girl. There's no such thing as failing at that, because being a boy or girl is just about identifying as that. But, you know, if people are calling you a failed boy and girl, then just be non-binary. Good. Okay. Feed into it. Take away their ammunition. You know what I mean?
So,
Also, this is a beautiful person, I must say. I very much dig this person's look. Very much. It's a very good look.
So, to me personally, it really seems like this young woman is struggling with the fact
How can you
that
know? Wait. I was literally going to say, and then I stopped, not for any particular reason. It came to my mind that I have no idea. Was this person born male or female? You know? Oh, wait, it's because of the tag, isn't it? The handle, Eastern Library Boy. Yeah. Okay. Could still be cis, by the way, and just identify as like a demi boy.
struggling with the fact that
You literally had to correct yourself, by the way. You could have cut that out. This young person, young woman.
she's a masculine woman, and
What a joke.
for some reason that's, not sitting right with her, so she has to call
But
herself non-binary
You're trans.
and a failed woman, a failed man, and she has to identify as non-binary because she doesn't feel like she can still be a masculine woman. What a sad thing that we as a
I was gonna say that I kind of want to look up and see if they're actually trans, like from female to non-binary, but it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter.
society have done to the young women around us. I mean, really, truly, look around you. For my folks here who are still in school of any sort, particularly
That person
high
did look
school
like
and
a
college, I'd like to know how many people you've noticed recently, especially identifying as trans, and yet look nothing like it. Genuinely, I'd love to
cares?
know if you'd just
But
send
why
that
do
to
you
me in the
care?
comments. It's gotten really out of hand. It's been
How's that-
so
what's
so
happening?
heavily pushed through every form of media that we have.
What's happening as a result of like all these people identifying as trans? Oh, heavens to Betsy, we're losing things, the moral fabric of reality. The Western society is falling, right, buddy? Like that. What else is there? What's failing? What's wrong? Like, what's the problem? I don't get it.
That like
Doesn't make any sense.
everyone should be trans and gay, and like you don't want to be
Hog
straight. Being straight is bad and gross. Of course these young women are gonna be confused and think that they have to be
Actually, I'll take the opposite stance. Nobody should be trans or gay because nobody should be any gender or sexuality.
non-binary or have to be trans men or something. You can be a masculine woman. You are still beautiful. You are still a woman. You are still feminine in your own way. You just dress differently. You just look differently. You present differently. That's okay. That is beautiful.
And call themselves differently.
100% in
No
its own
gods, no
way.
genders.
A couple months ago,
Stop saying that's beautiful and I love you. And it's so condescending. F you, man. F you.
Connect-
I know I said I was going to be nice going into this, but I can't help myself. Like, he's being such a smarmy piece of shit. F off. Shove it up your ass.
mine, who is
Oops.
now off at
Sorry.
quite a liberal college, from my understanding. And this particular friend was telling me about how
Yeah, conservative parent.
this
No hate
college
like Christian
campus
love.
is handing out hormones with no doctors involved whatsoever. It's a little clinic on
Okay.
campus.
What college? What college?
this college campus is handing out hormones with no doctors involved whatsoever. It's a little clinic on campus, and you don't have to be diagnosed with anything. You can literally just walk in and say, I want testosterone or I want estrogen, and they give you the
That's how that works. Do you know how I got testosterone? Do you know how I got it? I said, hey, I want testosterone. And you know what they did? Okay, first we're going to do a blood test on you and see what your testosterone levels are so that you're not dangerously taking it, right? Because there is a point at which it becomes dangerous if you're too high. So they took my lab tests and they said, okay, you're at 299. That's 1 point below average. We're going to start you on testosterone replacement therapy. If I tried that today with my testosterone levels being like over 1,000 now, all right, they'd say, off. You can't have testosterone. What are you talking about? In a much nicer way because they're professionals. But they'd say, no, you can't have it. No self-respecting doctor would give me testosterone right now because I don't need it. Okay? And it would probably hurt me if I took it. Like, I just don't buy this. I don't buy this. I want to know where. College to provide hormone replacement therapy to students without requiring recommendation from health provider. Here, what's this? University of Wisconsin-Madison will no longer require counseling or medical recommendation before administering hormone therapy to transgender students. Okay, maybe we have something here. Beginning May 17th, the school will begin administering hormone replacement therapy to transgender students without requiring any sort of medical or psychological evaluation or recommendation. We're pleased to share a workflow change at University Health Services that helps students access hormones for gender transition without going through counseling or getting a letter. I personally don't think you need I didn't need counseling. The justification for the new procedure is based on the World Professional Association for Transgender Health informed consent model, which according to the university, quote, reduces barriers to accessing medically necessary treatment, end quote. While this may be a true assessment, certain barriers are often in place for the purpose of ensuring that treatment is needed and medically necessary. You with your counseling. You don't need counseling for breast increasing for 16-year-olds. That's true, by the way. If you're a 16-year-old cis girl, you can just go get a breast augmentation. You can just go get one. Unless you're trying to make them smaller, then you can't. But if you're trying to make them bigger, well, that's free reign. Gee, I wonder why that is. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But yeah, no, I don't think counseling needs to be a thing. It wasn't a thing for me. It doesn't need to be a thing for trans people. If you think that it does, that's literally a transphobic belief that you hold. And I understand if you hold it because it's a very commonly held belief, but it is rooted in transphobia. Nobody would say that I need one for testosterone. Nobody. So you don't need one if you don't need a psychological eval if you're trans to get on HRT. You need informed consent, and that's it. I think anyone who wants to medically transition should be able to, assuming it's monitored by a medical professional. Just like my HRT, mine, cis guy, by the way, was monitored by a healthcare professional. Yes, I agree. Anything that I need, okay, use me as a baseline. Right? What did I need? Doctor's appointment, lab results, follow-up doctor's appointment, HRT. That's the process. That should always be the process. Every time, whether you're trans or not. And it should be covered, yes. I think that all healthcare should be free anyway. But yes, it should be covered.
gel packets on campus.
They do not just straight up hand out gel packets. Fuck off with that. Prove it.
Well, there's no standards anymore in healthcare. Moving on before I lose my mind.
What are your pronouns?
My pronouns are they, them. I've actually got them tattooed on my neck.
First thing
It's my credo. No regret. You have no regrets? No way. Not me.
I should probably
No
mention
regrets.
to you all as my audience that
Wait. They were making fun of this person. They, them. Okay, that's their right. I wouldn't do it. I sure as wouldn't do this, but that's their right. And also, I get it because they, them is such a rarity that those who identify as they, them have a lot of problems with it. To the extent that I forget who it was. Some celebrity tried to identify as they, them and then went back on it because they were like, it's too annoying. Like, it's just too annoying to like get people to understand how to do it. Even though it's like the easiest thing in the world now to me. Once you get used to it, it's really super easy. To be fair, psychologists are healthcare professionals. Yes, I didn't need one. Why? If you think that I need a psychologist to be to get on HRT, testosterone, then fine. At least you're consistent. But that's not what people think. People think that if you were born a girl and you want to become a boy, then you need to have counseling. And I think that's unfair. That's transphobic. It might have been Demi Lovato. Yes, guitar rocker. Thank you. It's easier to call someone they, them when trying not to misgender someone in an accident. I usually forget at times because I go by voices most of the time. Yeah, just as long as you're like I think that should be the default. If you don't know somebody's really anybody, like just forget presentation be damned. Like you just call everybody they, them until they tell you their pronouns. I think that if you're going to have gender in an ideal gender cucked society, at least that would be consistent, right? And that would be a good step forward. Now you're going to lose a little bit in ways of efficiency of conversation, but I think it's worth the trade-off personally, because you still have to tell people your names. You have to ask somebody what their name is, so you might as well just say, what's your name and pronouns? My name's Alec, I'm he him. What's your name? Alec. What's your name and pronouns? Alec, he him. How much time did that take? Took 2 seconds. Or it. That's fine. I don't care as long as it's consistent.
I should probably mention to you all as my audience that my husband and one of my best friends in the whole world picked out every single one of these videos, and I have not seen any of them. So some of them are actually quite funny, and I'm very, very glad that this one was...
I guess it's different if it's surgery. No, I think that you should have counseling before any kind of surgery. I think that, honestly, I think that, well, unless it's like very urgent, but before any elective procedure, I should say, you should have counseling. I think that you should do that for... you know, breast augmentation. I think you should have to do that for facial feminization or masculinization. I think that you should have to, or implants, right, that like celebrities get. I think that everybody should get counseling before they do any kind, but just one session real quick, check your mental health, make sure everything's in order. This person is saying they don't have like any health conditions they have that might be affecting their choice are under control, right, as to the extent that they can be, like mental health conditions, sorry. Like if they're depressed, it's controlled, if all that stuff. The point is, you should have informed consent. It should all be part of informed consent. But it should be across the board. If you're going to have informed consent counseling sessions for girls who get breast augmentation, then you should have, cis girls that get breast augmentation, then you should have informed consent counseling sessions for trans girls who get breast augmentation. Both, okay? It should be both. This is the problem, is that it's inconsistent. It's inconsistently applied. Trans people are scrutinized way more heavily, and it's really annoying.
Thrown in. Can you imagine being so deep into a delusion that you have to like tattoo your identity across your neck so people are forced to respect you? A whole other level
of kind of cringe,
off
but who
the
cares?
deep end crazy,
You're allowed to
bro.
be cringe.
I don't know about y'all. I have 9 tattoos, and personally, they don't really bother me. I kind of enjoy getting tattoos, but you know, there's some spots that are kind of tender. I could not imagine wasting just for it to, one, look as crappy as that. Who did that? Your friend in the basement with no lights on? I sincerely hope you didn't waste money on that, because no one's even looking at it. And here I am sitting saying I
don't know about that. I think everybody's looking at that, but...
Nice this video. Shame on me.
Some of you look like your pronouns are hurt me daddy. Isn't that right, my pretty...
You haven't been nice at all in this video, by the way. Just because you say I love you and I'm coming from a place of care and respect does not mean that you're being nice, man. Okay? That just means that you're being a pussy about being mean. So stop being a pussy. Just be mean like I am. Pussy. At least I can admit it.
You're not wrong.
Wait, what? What the fuck? What? Hold on.
Video.
We already saw this video, by the way.
Some of you look like your pronouns are hurt me daddy. Isn't that right, my pretty little... You're not wrong.
This person could have been cis. I've seen cis girls that look like that.
What?
That was rude as shit. You're so committed to not being mean. To not being mean, actually. You're so committed to being nice and respectful, right? Right, buddy? Right, buddy? Right?
What? When I find out who picked that video, there will be words.
You have an audience picking videos for you? My audience needs to pick.
What does that even mean? My pronouns look like they would be hurt me. What? I'm not even gonna finish that because first of all, what? Second, what does that mean? To me, your pronouns look like stay the fuck away from me.
Why?
Not whatever that was.
Why? Why? I don't understand. Like, okay, she looks fine. I don't understand. It's just calling her ugly. You're just calling her ugly. That's all you're doing. It's weak, bro.
Stay the fuck away from me. Not whatever that was.
Exactly, Queen Laura. Not being mean, though.
Ho.
We're committed to not being mean.
Things that you've lied about, even pertaining to your mom.
The woke community letting me know I'm a pick-me because I said trans women don't get periods and neopronouns are a joke. This is not a real thing. If you like are actually making TikToks bitching about this shit, go find a life. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. There's like 3 people who are like, oh, trans women menstruate. Yes, trans women definitely menstruate. Yes, there's like 3 people on the X app, the Twitter app now that do that, okay? And all 3 of those people are very loud and annoying. I'm not going to say they're not, but this demographic of people doesn't exist. You can get like period cramps from what I've heard, all right? If you're on like HRT. I have heard that that's a thing, right? But yeah, you're right, okay? Hey, congratulations, you're right. Trans women don't menstruate. You're right. Great job. Great job. Here's your Medal of Honor. Now, fuck off.
Now, since you think.
Personally, I love this guy. I'm pretty sure I follow him on like a couple platforms. He himself is a homosexual man, so in my opinion, he definitely has the right to speak on this. But
that's what we mean when we say our period, we get the cramps. Okay, yeah, I'm not on hormones. So who am I to say? Yeah, okay, listen, I get period cramps. Or it's not a real period. Okay, I get cramps once a month that correlates to what a cis woman might call a period. Cramps. What would I call such a thing, huh? It's due to the hormones that I'm taking. So what would I call such a thing? You want to call it just HRT cramps or something? Sure, whatever. But like, it's the same thing. It's the same concept. When people say men menstruate, we're talking about trans men, not trans women. That's still not a period. Okay, but like what? Sorry, I know that you're not saying that, but like what else would you actually call that if I were responding to that Republican that you mentioned? What else would I call it? You know, like you call it a period cramps for women. Oh, but wait, the cramps themselves are not the period. So you shouldn't call it a period cramp, right? Even though the biological process for those cramps are exactly the same.
He always calls out the kind of craziness in the LGBT community, as I do. As you may have noticed in the comments, I get called the man version of Blair White, and most people who say it are complimenting me, and I love that. I am so obsessed with Blair, and to every single one of you who compares me to Blair White, I love you.
You seem like
that means the world to me. She is so amazing and such an inspiration, so thank you. To the rest of you, though, saying that I'm Blair White as an insult, first of all, it's not an insult. I hope you know that. She's an.
By the way, you're not Blair White because Blair White is way more successful than you are, first of all. Second of all, like Blair White, I think is honestly better spoken than you. I think Blair White does a much better job of grifting than you, okay? Now, granted, you're smaller, you're early on in your grifting career, but you got some work to do, you know? You got some tips to pick up, I feel. You know, like, I wouldn't personally call you Blair White because I think that's boosting you up too much. I think that you're a loser cuck bitch, okay? So I wouldn't call you Blair White. I would call you a loser cuck bitch, okay? By the way, Blair White calls herself a woman, just so you know. So you guys apparently disagree on that.
Like, you can try to be a hater.
Try not
if
to be
you
mean,
want
by the way.
to, but
I say this from a place of love and respect for you, you loser cuck bitch. Seek help for your cuckery. Seek help. This is coming from a place of 100% love and respect for you.
Womp womp. Ooh, okay. Wrapping up with one final video. Here we go.
It's iconic.
Oh, good. I was hoping there was another one.
And I loved.
People who think trans people need to look and act a certain way to be considered not faking, asking me why I still look like a woman if I'm trans.
You iconic shit.
The T-slur was, once again, too stunned to speak. I should report this video. F you, man.
Oh, boo-boo. I think what I actually, at the end of the day, meant to say was, if you are comfortable 100% dressing, presenting, looking like yada, 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 a woman, it's because that's what you are. It's because you...
What? Hold on. Base take. I agree. Base take.
It's because you are.
I agree, because that would insinuate that trans women are also women. Looking, dressing, acting like a woman. Good job.
Okay. Even now, like, looking the way I do, literally having... it's a neck beard. Let's call it what it is. It's a neck beard. And...
Where? Huh? Listen, the camera quality is shit, but like also where? I'm just throwing that out there.
A very teeny tiny rat stash. Even with that and my linebacker shoulders and whatnot, I don't wear shit like crop tops in public. That would make me incredibly dysphoric because that is a feminine piece of clothing. Why would I?
Okay. That's your call. Yeah, and that makes sense, by the way. As a trans mask person, yeah, you probably wouldn't. But who gives a shit? Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, what happens? You guys know that song from Sonic Adventure 2? I just thought of it. Anyway, it doesn't matter at all. Like, none of this matters. So stupid.
I, as a walk around in women's clothing. I wouldn't. You know, a lot different than going out in public with
I've walked around in women's clothing before. Who gives a shit? Who cares?
Long hair, makeup, all pink, like my pretty little braids and my pretty little clips in my hair, and like all Hello Kitty. And if that's genuinely what you think that being
and then call yourself a guy based. Who cares? Who cares?
Transsexual is, you have my full permission to
Nobody said that's what transsexual is, by the way.
not talk to me. Dysphoria is something that forces you to pass for yourself. It's not for other people. It literally has nothing to do at all with other people. I could be 100% alone in a room, even without mirrors, and I would still know that I needed to transition. I still needed to change my voice. I still needed to have facial hair. I still needed to have body hair. I still need, you know, all these other things, because whether I'm alone or around people, I'm still a transsexual with dysphoria. That will never go away. That will never change.
Okay, but the dysphoria can be cleared up. The dysphoria can be cleared up, though. Like, dysphoria itself is the problem, because that's an incongruency with the sex you were assigned at birth and your gender identity. Like, hold on, what am I trying to say here? A state of severe distress or unhappiness caused by feeling that one's gender identity does not match one's sex as registered at birth. By that definition, you will always have dysphoria. That is true. But in my opinion, I think a more useful definition of dysphoria would be the mental state of distress that is caused by what you see in the mirror not matching what you would like your sexual or gender identity to be. You know what I mean? Like, you can cure it by transitioning. You know what I mean? Like, the negative effects of the dysphoria are the most important element of the dysphoria. So if you get rid of the negative effects, you're essentially getting rid of the dysphoria. Does that make sense? I just feel like personally that would be a more coherent way to put it. That's just me.
These people really love the idea
so in
of
that
the
sense,
attention
yes, I think it
and
can
validation that comes from passing, especially if...
Would it be two subsets of dysphoria, gender and body? Yes. That it would. Well, it already should be, right? Like, it already should be. Your gender assigned at birth does not match the gender that you want to be. Your sex assigned at birth does not match the sex that you want to be. And those are two very interrelated but different conditions, okay? Very interrelated, but they're different. So there already should be gender versus sex dysphoria.
Another trans person or someone they deem to be trans sees them as trans. And one final note on all of this that I will add is that a lot of these trenders will come at me and people like me and go, well, why do you have to make being trans a competition? Sweetie, no one's making it a competition except you. There is no...
Yeah, and you're going after them. Like, if you really don't care and it's not a competition, just stay away from them. You don't have to interact with them. You don't, okay? I never had to interact with you, by the way. I didn't have to do that. I almost didn't, but I chose to, okay? For content. So I'm kind of in a content contest with you in a sense. If I had to, you know... I don't know. Anyway, keep going.
Competition to be had. We're all passing for ourselves. You want to jump in and pretend it's a game and it's a competition and it's something fun to be a part of.
So don't act like you don't.
When it isn't. You're the one trying to make it.
It is fun to be a part of. What are you talking about? I'm a part of it in some ways. The trans community is very fun to be a part of. Like, because they tend to be like just more accepting of people, okay? And just more interested in media that's not boring and, you know, I don't know. I've personally found the trans community to be very entertaining and interesting. And I'm very happy and privileged to be a part of it. So I do think it's fun. But, you know, if you don't think it's fun, that's probably on you, man.
Get a competition. You're the one trying to make a
Bro said we shouldn't enjoy our lives
out of it. Actually, you don't even have to try anymore. True. You've already done that. You did that a long time ago. Now the rest of us are trying to come back from that and trying to climb ourselves out of the freaking grave that you all dug for us and threw us in and left us to rot in. We're coming up super close on 1,000 subscribers, which is a really huge deal to me. So I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to every single one of you who has watched a video, liked...
Yeah, I don't care. Disgusting, man. Disgusting. I think I'm justified in reporting that video, by the way. Like, if you're going to go, listen, it's one thing to call yourself the T-slur if you're a trans person, but if you're doing the same thing that a cis person who is transphobic would do by calling somebody else the T-slur when they did not consent to that, I think that that's worth reporting. I'm treating you equally. So, you. Yeah, that was a stupid video. I don't know what else to say.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits, such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.